After the fairies sprinkled fairy dust onto the dandelion, I was born under the watchful eyes of all the fairies. The queen spread her wings, and my body slowly floated into the air. Then came the most important moment of my life, the talent choosing ceremony. The fairies placed objects that represented different fairy professions. I first chose a flower, which represented becoming a garden fairy, but the moment my hand touched it, the flower instantly withered. Next, I tried choosing the water droplet of a water fairy, but it was obvious that I wasn't meant to become a water fairy either. I had no interest in the hammer belonging to the Tinker Fairies, but to my surprise, the hammer chose me instead. The moment I grabbed the handle, the hammer began glowing brightly. That glow meant I had a special talent unlike any other fairy, and just like that, I became a one-of-a-kind Tinker Fairy. But when I saw my two future co-workers, I couldn't help feeling disappointed. Still, they didn't look down on me. Instead, they welcomed me with kindness. On our way back to the Tinker Fairy workshop, we ran into the Frost Fairy who had just delivered winter to the human world. Then, we saw the Autumn Fairies painting the leaves with beautiful amber colors. The Summer Fairies were playing by the water, because summer was still a long way away in the human world. And at that moment, the busiest ones were the Spring Fairies. Every Spring Fairy was preparing for the arrival of spring. Meanwhile, the Animal Fairies were giving ladybugs bright new colors. When we finally arrived at the Tinker Fairy workshop, I was completely amazed by everything in front of me, but my co-workers suddenly pushed my head down, because the real Tinker Fairy workshop was hidden below. There, snails transported supplies, while tiny elves and giant mice worked together to pull carts. Everything around me was completely new and exciting. Soon after, they took me to the place where I would live. It was clean and beautiful, and I quickly made a few close friends. But sadly, that wonderful life didn't last long. A conversation with the arrogant Wind Fairy completely changed my fate. She looked down on my identity and thought being a Tinker Fairy was a lowly job. She even mocked me, saying that all I could do was fix things. A few days later, spring was about to arrive. Many fairies were busy preparing for the new season. I went to see the queen, hoping to prove that I could also help bring spring. So, I invented an acorn shelling machine. But when the machine started, something went terribly wrong. The pine cones shot straight toward a giant squirrel, leaving it in so much pain that it almost cried. Then, I showed another invention, a flower sprayer, but the force was too powerful, and all the pollen sprayed directly onto the captain. The queen told me that Tinker Fairies were not allowed to go to the human world. Creating spring was the job of the nature fairies, but I refused to give up. So, I asked my friends to help me change professions. The water fairy taught me how to control water droplets and create morning dew. But no matter how hard I practiced, I just couldn't make it work. In the end, I simply threw the water droplet away. Unexpectedly, it hit a spider web, bounced back, and came flying toward us. The giant water droplet instantly splashed onto my friends, leaving everyone completely soaked. The light fairy taught me how to use sunlight to light up fireflies, but after countless attempts, I still failed.